Audiobook title: All Earth's People Are Taming Beast Chapter 01 to 12. Chapter 01. Welcome to the world of beast taming. A radiant white light pierced through the darkness, illuminating an endless expanse. As the brightness faded, a strange and foreign land revealed itself. A place where countless thatched huts scattered the terrain, and bizarre creatures roamed in every direction. In an instant, the 7 billion souls of Earth had been transported into this otherworldly realm, embarking on a harrowing new journey. In one of these unfamiliar surroundings stood Rahim, rubbing his weary eyes, still bleary from a sleepless night. His thoughts raced, and confusion gripped him as he stared at the scene before him. What's happening? Wasn't I just at the neighborhood cyber cafe, battling the clock in a gaming marathon? His voice trembled, echoing the disbelief shared by countless others across this strange domain. All around the world, individuals gawked at their surreal surroundings, much like Rahim. Dilapidated wooden shelters dotted the horizon, with their walls riddled with cracks wide enough to let the piercing wind whistle through. Rahim's refuge was no exception. He found himself in a creaky wooden house that seemed on the verge of collapse. The icy wind slipped in through every fissure, biting at his skin and jolting his senses into sharp alertness. As he examined his fragile shelter, a shimmering exclamation mark materialized in midair before him. "What on earth is this?" he murmured, his curiosity compelling him to touch it. The moment his fingers brushed the symbol, a series of words appeared in his mind, projected like a holographic script. Wooden house, level 1. Description: this is your sanctuary. Protect it at all costs. You may gather materials to upgrade its durability and resistance. Avoid destroying or burning your house, as it is vital for survival. Rahim absorbed the information with growing apprehension. Before he could process it, more glowing symbols erupted across his line of vision, each demanding his attention. He clicked them one by one, uncovering more cryptic details about his surroundings. Stove. On cold nights, feed it wood to keep warm. Consumption rate: 1 wood per hour. Use sparingly, as misuse may ignite your home. Water storage tank, a basic tool for storing water. Early on, this might be your sole source of drinking water. Do not waste it. Rahim leaned over the water tank and peeked inside. A thick layer of cobwebs clung to its interior, and murky water swirled ominously beneath. His parched throat begged for relief, but his instincts warned him otherwise. This water is disgusting. If I drink this without boiling it first, I'm doomed to days of misery, he grimaced, stepping away. As if in response to his predicament, an emotionless, mechanical voice echoed from the void. Beep. Adventurers, welcome to the beast taming realm. Here begins your journey. Listen closely to the following instructions. Rahim froze, his pulse quickening. He dared not ignore the voice, knowing from his years of gaming experience that early tutorials often held the keys to survival. The voice continued, droning on with a list of critical directives. 1. Welcome to the world of beast taming. You are now a beast tamer. Your mission is to tame creatures, gather resources, build your home, and endure the challenges of this realm. 2. Your initial resources include a wooden house and a mysterious pet egg. You will receive the egg after this briefing. Be aware, for the first 3 days, you are under novice protection. Stay within the safety perimeter of your home to avoid certain death. 3. To tame a beast, you must form a blood bond with it. Once bonded, the beast will become your steadfast companion. Treat it with care, for disloyalty may lead to betrayal. 4. As you progress, you will encounter other beast tamers. Alliances and trades can be formed, but beware. Hearts are treacherous, and betrayal is common. 5. Remember, this world is vast and brimming with mysteries, but you have only one life. Cherish it. The voice fell silent, and Rahim exhaled deeply, attempting to process the torrent of information. A glowing, translucent interface appeared before him, its semi-transparent screen displaying a myriad of options. Rahim's attention was drawn to a global chat window, where messages from other bewildered souls flooded the feed at breakneck speed. Most of the messages were cries of despair. Why did this happen to us? Help. There's a giant snake near my house. It's massive. I'm as good as dead. I just bought a house on Earth, now I'm stuck here? If anyone finds a way out, I'll pay them $10 million. The chaos was palpable, and the scrolling text offered no solutions. Rahim opted to close the chat window, unwilling to waste energy on panic. Taking a deep breath, he stepped out of his wooden house to survey his surroundings. He had barely taken a few steps when his heart sank. No, not already. Underneath a sprawling bush, a wild boar, half the height of a man, was digging at the soil with tusks sharp as daggers. Its muscular frame exuded danger, and its beady eyes glimmered with hostility. Rahim muttered a silent prayer, cursing his luck. Why me, ya Allah? Couldn't it have been a chicken or a rabbit? He glanced around, searching for anything useful. The land was barren and strewn with dry leaves, rocks, and brittle twigs. He shivered at the realization that his only advantage was the abundance of kindling for his stove. Suddenly, the mechanical voice returned. Ding. Releasing your beast egg now. Prepare to bond with your first companion. A soft glow emanated from Rahim's hands, and as he looked down, a small egg appeared. Its surface shimmered with intricate, golden patterns that resembled the calligraphy of the Quran. Rahim felt a surge of hope. This is the key to survival. The voice chimed once more. Place a drop of your blood on the egg to begin the bonding process. Without hesitation, Rahim bit his thumb, letting a single drop of blood fall onto the egg's surface. The golden patterns flared to life, and cracks began to spiderweb across the shell. Moments later, the egg shattered, and a creature unlike any Rahim had ever seen emerged. It was a small, sleek fox-like beast with silvery fur and eyes that sparkled like the night sky. The creature looked up at Rahim, its gaze filled with intelligence and curiosity. A notification flashed across Rahim's vision. Congratulations, you have bonded with a moonlit Luma, a rare and loyal companion. Treat it well. Rahim knelt to stroke the creature's fur, marveling at its warmth and softness. Despite the peril that surrounded him, for the first time since arriving in this strange world, he felt a flicker of hope. I'll call you Noor, little one, Rahim said softly, naming the beast after the Arabic word for light. Noor yipped in response, nuzzling his hand as if understanding its name. Rahim straightened, determination hardening in his eyes. He glanced back at the wooden house, then at the wild boar still rooting in the distance. All right, Noor, let's survive this nightmare together. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Rahim stood resolute. The journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but armed with his faith, wits, and new companion, he vowed to persevere. Chapter 02. The golden finger appeared, the initial beast taming choice. A faint chime echoed through the air, the herald of another system notification. Outside the fragile wooden shelters, a blinding white light descended, and in its wake appeared rows upon rows of luminous eggs, each radiating a mystical aura. They lay on humble wooden pedestals, protected by an ethereal glow that invited curiosity, but warned against recklessness. The eggs pulsed faintly, as if alive, each encased in a shimmering veil of light that forbade direct contact until a choice was made. The eggs exuded a sense of importance, each one a key to survival in this merciless realm. Standing amidst the chaos, Rahim gazed at the display, his mind spinning with possibilities. His hands twitched at his sides, but he resisted the urge to reach for the nearest egg. Not yet, he thought. Rahim knew that this first choice would set the course of his journey. The bond with his beast could be the lifeline he needed, or the very shackle that would drag him into oblivion. His years of strategy games had taught him patience, and he resolved not to act on impulse. All around, voices clamored in the distance, their desperation cutting through the stillness. Ya Allah, guide me to the right choice, Rahim murmured under his breath, a quiet prayer for strength and wisdom. He opened the global chat window, hoping to glean insights from the scattered masses. Unsurprisingly, it was a flurry of frantic messages. I've chosen my egg. It's a skunk. It sprayed me the moment it hatched. This is a disaster. A frog. It's massive, slimy, and utterly useless. I kicked it out of my house already. What do we even look for? How do we know which one is good? Rahim scanned the feed, his brows furrowing. Most people were floundering, their decisions guided by chance rather than reason. The chaos of it all unnerved him, but a single observation gave him pause. There's no method to this choice. It's pure luck. Determined to rise above the uncertainty, Raheem began examining the eggs in front of him. His fingers hovered over the first egg, activating a cascade of information that appeared like script on a scroll before his eyes. Name: Grave Guard Dog, Level 1. Attributes: none. Skill: Bite Level 1. Below the basic stats, a line of red text caught Raheem's eye, something that hadn't appeared in any prior descriptions he'd seen. Hidden attribute: Earth. Quality: Black Iron. Loyalty: 95. Hobby: Hunting. Advantages: high initial loyalty, absolute obedience to commands. Disadvantages: low growth potential. Evolution requirement: Silver Wolf's heart. The last detail intrigued him. If he found the heart of a silver wolf, the creature could evolve into a guardian dog, breaking its limitations. This is useful, Raheem thought, but a twinge of doubt lingered. The dog's potential seemed limited, and Raheem knew survival demanded more than obedience. It required strength, adaptability, and resilience. He moved on. Ya Allah, let me choose wisely, Raheem whispered, activating another egg. Name: Grass Flower Monster. Level 1. Attributes: none. Skill: Blossom of 100 Flowers. Level 1. This time, the hidden text revealed. Hidden attribute: Grass. Quality: Bronze. Loyalty: 50. Hobby: Earth Spirit. Advantages: boosts plant growth significantly, releases pollen with paralyzing effects. Disadvantages: low attack power in early stages. Evolution requirement: Dryad's heart or life essence. Raheem frowned. The grass flower monster offered utility, particularly in cultivating resources, but its lack of offensive capabilities could spell doom in the critical early days. A vision of the wild boar he'd seen earlier flashed in his mind, a stark reminder of the threats that lurked beyond the safety of his wooden house. This one won't do, he muttered, moving on to the next. Minutes turned to hours as Raheem sifted through the options, rejecting egg after egg. Most were of black iron or bronze quality, offering meager abilities and uninspiring growth potential. A creeping frustration clawed at him, but he refused to let it cloud his judgment. And then he saw it. Nestled among the lesser eggs was one that shone with a brilliance unmatched by the rest. Its shell glowed with a fiery red hue, streaked with veins of silver. The moment Raheem touched it, the system displayed its details in bold, glowing text. Name: Scarlet Firehawk. Level 1. Attributes: Fire. Skill: Ember Strike. Level 1. The hidden attributes brought a glimmer of hope to Raheem's weary heart. Hidden attribute: Flame. Quality: Silver. Loyalty: 85. Hobby: Soaring through the skies. Advantages: high mobility, strong early game attack power. Can scout wide areas efficiently. Disadvantages: requires substantial food and energy to maintain strength. Evolution requirement: Phoenix Feather. Raheem's heart pounded as he read the details. The Scarlet Firehawk was everything he needed. Speed, strength, and a potential for growth that far outstripped anything else he'd seen. He had no doubt. This was his companion. Before hesitation could take root, he made his choice. Bismillah, he whispered, invoking the name of Allah to bless his decision. The moment he touched the egg, the protective veil shattered, and the shell began to crack. Bright flames erupted, swirling around him, but they didn't burn. Instead, they felt warm, invigorating, like the embrace of a summer breeze. A cry split the air, a shrill, piercing sound that sent shivers down Raheem's spine. The flames subsided, and from the remnants of the egg emerged a magnificent bird, its crimson feathers shimmering like molten gold. The Scarlet Firehawk spread its wings, its sharp, intelligent eyes locking onto Raheem's. For a moment, neither moved. Then, as if understanding its new bond, the hawk let out a softer, more melodic cry and lowered its head. A notification flashed before Raheem. Congratulations, you have bonded with the Scarlet Firehawk. A new screen appeared, displaying its stats. Loyalty: 85. Health: 100 out of 100. Skill unlocked: Ember Strike. Raheem extended his hand slowly, and the hawk leaned into his touch. Its feathers were warm, almost comforting, and a surge of confidence swelled within him. "You're Nur al-Nayar," Raheem declared, naming the hawk after the light of fire in Arabic. Nur al-Nayar cawed softly, as if approving the name. As dusk fell, Raheem returned to his wooden house. Nur al-Nayar perched on his shoulder. The wild boar from earlier was still lurking nearby, its presence a constant reminder of the dangers ahead. But Raheem was no longer afraid. With Nur al-Nayar by his side, he felt prepared for the trials to come. The 3-day novice protection period loomed heavy in his mind. He knew the days ahead would test his faith, resolve, and wits. Yet, for the first time since his arrival in this unforgiving world, Raheem felt hope spark within him, a small flame that Nur al-Nayar seemed to embody. He looked out into the fading light, his resolve hardening. "We will survive this," he vowed. "Together?" And thus began Raheem's journey, a tale of survival, faith, and unyielding determination in a world that sought to break him. But Raheem was no ordinary man. He was guided by the strength of his beliefs and the bond with a creature born of fire and destiny. Chapter 03. Successfully tamed the first pet. The crisp sound of the system notification rang out, breaking the stillness that had settled over the area. Before Raheem stood a dazzling array of glowing eggs, the light emanating from each one bathing the ground in a rainbow of colors. It was a mesmerizing sight, but Raheem's attention was fixed on one egg in particular. The spirit fox egg. Raheem had spent an exhaustive amount of time analyzing the details, meticulously comparing it to the others. The glowing text that hovered in front of him listed its impressive qualities. Name: Spirit Fox, Level 1. Attributes: none. Skills: Bite, Claw Strike. O Bite, a vicious attack that causes bleeding damage over time. O Claw Strike, a rapid slash with sharp claws, dealing considerable damage. Hidden attributes: Fire, Water, Grass. Quality: Silver. Loyalty: 60 points. Hobbies: Loves fire. Advantages: Exceptional evolution potential. Versatile growth paths, including support and spell-based abilities. Strong attack power in the early stages. Disadvantages: Its high potential requires rare evolution materials, increasing the challenge of progression. Evolution requirements: A suitable elemental crystal core, tailored to the chosen evolutionary path. Raheem's heart raced as he read the description. The spirit fox wasn't just a companion, it was a cornerstone for survival. Its ability to grow into multiple roles, coupled with its early-stage strength, made it invaluable. He remembered snippets of chatter from the World Chat channel, where others had shared stories of their own choices. I got a thorny bird with a grass attribute. Bronze quality. I think I'm set for life. Grass? That's nothing. Mine's got fire. Why is my luck so terrible? I ended up with a snake, and I hate snakes. Raheem knew they were missing a critical detail: the hidden attributes. These mysterious qualities, visible only to him, set the spirit fox apart from anything else. Others might have been satisfied with lesser creatures, but Raheem understood the potential his fox possessed. He sighed, closing the panel. His decision was clear. The remaining eggs, while interesting, couldn't match the spirit fox. Even the green wave turtle, a bronze-quality creature with a long-range water bomb attack, paled in comparison due to its crippling need for constant water. Raheem's gaze returned to the spirit fox's egg. Its shell shimmered with a faint iridescence, intricate patterns weaving across its surface, like sacred calligraphy. "Bismillah," he murmured, invoking divine guidance as he placed his hand on the egg. "The choice is made." The system's voice chimed. "Selection complete. Please drop blood to bind the spirit fox to your soul." Raheem's pulse quickened. He hadn't prepared a knife or sharp object, so with no better option, he bit down on his middle finger until he drew blood. A single crimson drop fell onto the egg's surface. The reaction was immediate. The egg began to glow brighter, the patterns across its surface pulsing with life. The light expanded, swirling into an intricate dance of fire, water, and grass. Raheem felt a strange warmth spread through his body, as though the egg was connecting with his very essence. Suddenly, a soft cry pierced the air, a sound so gentle, so pure, that it made Raheem's heart swell with emotion. The egg began to crack, thin fissures spreading across its shell like spiderwebs. Crack, crack. Pieces of the eggshell fell away, revealing a small, delicate creature within. A tiny head peeked out, its fur pale, silken white, with hints of silver. The spirit fox's eyes were large and bright, shimmering like pools of liquid light. For a moment, the creature stared at Raheem, curiosity evident in its gaze. Then, as if sensing their bond, it clambered out of the eggshell and nuzzled against his hand. Raheem couldn't help but smile. "You're beautiful," he whispered, stroking the fox's soft fur. The creature let out a soft, purr-like sound, a sign of trust and contentment. "The bond is sealed." The system notification rang again. "Congratulations! You have successfully tamed your first pet, the spirit fox. Your journey begins now. Prepare for the trials ahead." Raheem glanced at the fox, which had already begun exploring its surroundings. It moved gracefully, its movements almost dance-like. He felt a strange sensation in his mind, a faint connection, as though he could sense the fox's emotions. "Is this part of the bond?" he wondered aloud. The fox looked back at him, as if answering the unspoken question. With a flick of its tail, it returned to Raheem's side, staring up at him with an expectant look. It was ready. The first trial. Raheem's gaze drifted to the wild boar that lingered near the bushes in the distance. The creature was massive, its muscular frame a testament to its raw power. Its tusks glinted in the fading sunlight, a reminder of the danger it posed. The spirit fox let out a low growl, sensing the threat. Raheem knelt beside it, his voice calm but firm. "Not yet, Nor. We're not ready for that fight." He had named the fox Nor, meaning light, a symbol of hope in the darkness of this perilous world. Instead of engaging the boar, Raheem turned his focus to gathering resources. With Nor by his side, he ventured cautiously into the surrounding area, collecting dry wood, leaves, and edible roots. Every step was calculated, every sound scrutinized. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, Raheem returned to his wooden house. Nor curled up by the stove, its presence a comforting reminder that he was no longer alone, preparing for what lies ahead. Raheem spent the night strategizing, his mind racing with possibilities. The system had mentioned evolution, and he resolved to begin preparing for it immediately. Crystals, rare items. The path won't be easy, but Nor's potential is worth it, he thought. He opened the system panel, reviewing Nor's stats and abilities. Each skill had room for improvement, and Raheem vowed to strengthen his companion at every opportunity. Outside, the wind howled, a haunting sound that carried the promise of challenges to come. But Raheem felt no fear. With Nor's warmth at his side and his faith as his guide, he was ready to face whatever this strange world would throw at him. And so, the first step of Raheem's journey was complete. With Nor Alanar, the spirit fox, as his steadfast companion, he stood at the threshold of a new and dangerous life. The trials ahead would be many, but in the bond they shared, Raheem found strength. As dawn broke over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, Raheem whispered a quiet prayer. Ya Allah, grant us courage and wisdom. Let us walk this path with honor and resolve. The spirit fox yipped softly, as if echoing his prayer. Together, they would face the challenges of this unforgiving world, forging a tale of survival, faith, and unyielding determination. Chapter 04. The first show of the little fox's adventure. The wild boar lay under the bushes, its body rolling lazily in the warm sunlight, blissfully unaware of the silent predator lurking nearby. Its complacency, however, was a grave mistake. Raheem, standing a short distance away, crouched low behind the sparse cover of a tree. His sharp eyes darted between the boar and his newly tamed spirit fox, Nor. The little fox crouched beside him, her fur shimmering faintly under the dappled sunlight. Raheem hesitated. Charging in recklessly could prove disastrous. He decided to consult the chat panel for insight. The scrolling messages filled the interface, chaotic and grim. "My black dog didn't even last 5 minutes out there. A giant snake swallowed it whole. A wild boar injured my beast so badly it ran off. And now I'm weaponless. A rabbit just shot wind blades at me. A rabbit, I tell you. How am I supposed to fight that? I told my lizard to attack a big snake, and instead, it turned around and bit me. I'm bleeding." Raheem's face darkened as he read the accounts. "So loyalty is a real problem," he muttered. The possibility of Noor rebelling wasn't just concerning. It could be deadly. He pulled up the Beast panel to examine Noor's stats once again. Beast Master Profile. Name Raheem. Level 1. Base Wooden House. Tamed Beast. Spirit Fox. Level 1. Items none. Blueprints none. Status Fatigue. Spirit Fox Profile. Loyalty 65. Loyalty Note. Oh, 90 plus. Absolute loyalty. Will follow orders without question. If the master dies, the beast will perish out of loyalty. Oh, 70 to 89. Strong loyalty. Will not disobey commands. May flee if the master is critically injured. Oh, 50 to 69. Moderate loyalty. Will follow orders, but betrayal is possible if injured. Oh, below 50. Unreliable. Likely to disobey or run away when faced with danger. Raheem's heart sank. Noor's loyalty sat at a precarious 65 points. Enough to follow commands, but not high enough to eliminate the risk of desertion. "Noor," Raheem whispered softly, reaching out to stroke her fur. The little fox leaned into his touch, her intelligent eyes gazing up at him. The system chimed. Beep. Due to the Beast Master's affection, loyalty plus 5 points. Raheem exhaled in relief. 70 points. That's better. He decided to solidify their bond further. From a small container in his wooden house, Raheem scooped up water into his cupped hands. He gently offered it to Noor. The fox's eyes lit up, and she eagerly began lapping the water from his palms. Beep. Due to feeding loyalty plus 5 points, now sitting at 75 loyalty points, Noor seemed more secure in her bond with Raheem. He nodded with satisfaction, his confidence bolstered. "All right, Noor, let's see what you can do," leaving the safety of the base. As they approached the edge of the wooden house's perimeter, a translucent barrier shimmered faintly in the air. A bold red exclamation mark floated at the boundary, accompanied by a mechanical warning. "Attention! You are about to leave the novice protection zone. Proceed at your own risk." Raheem paused. "So this is what keeps us safe," he mused. "But if I stay here, I'll starve or freeze to death. There's no choice but to venture out." He turned to Noor, his hand brushing gently against her head. "Let's go, Noor. Time to hunt." Together, they stepped beyond the barrier. As they crossed the threshold, Raheem's mind sparked with an idea. "Wait, this barrier, it's perfect for trapping enemies." A grin spread across his face. The system might have designed the barrier for safety, but Raheem saw its potential as a tactical advantage. If Noor could lure the boar into the barrier's edge, Raheem could strike without putting himself at risk. "Noor," he whispered, gesturing toward the boar. "Draw its attention, but be careful." The spirit fox hesitated, her sharp gaze darting between Raheem and the wild boar. Finally, with a flick of her tail, she crouched low and slinked toward the unsuspecting animal. The hunt begins. As Noor crept closer, Raheem's eyes scanned the surrounding bushes. Movement caught his attention. A heavy armored cow lumbered into view, its thick, plated hide glinting under the sun. A second creature, a springbok antelope, followed close behind, its slender frame darting nervously around the larger beast. Raheem focused on their details. Heavy armored cow. Level 2. Attributes none. Skills brute force, super defense. Hidden attributes earth. Quality bronze. Advantages high defense, strong group dynamics. Disadvantages slow and requires large amounts of food. Springbok antelope. Level 3. Attributes none. Skills bounce, agility. Hidden attributes wood. Quality bronze. Advantages exceptional agility, sharp hearing. Disadvantages extremely timid. Both creatures were tempting targets, but Raheem shook his head. Not yet. Noor isn't ready for them. He redirected his focus to the wild boar. The boar's laziness had worked against it. By the time it noticed Noor, the spirit fox was already too close. Noor bared her teeth, letting out a sharp, warning growl. The boar snorted in irritation, rising to its feet. "Good girl," Raheem murmured under his breath, gripping a jagged branch he had fashioned into a makeshift weapon. "Just bring it closer." The boar charged, its tusks gleaming. Nor darted out of its path, with nimble precision, her movements almost playful as she led the beast toward the barrier. The trap is sprung. Rahim positioned himself at the edge of the barrier, his makeshift weapon raised. As the boar barreled toward Nor, she skidded to a stop just outside the barrier's edge, pivoting sharply to avoid the creature's charge. The boar didn't stop in time. Its momentum carried it forward, slamming into the invisible wall with a deafening thud. It reeled back, disoriented, and that was all Rahim needed. With a battle cry, he brought his weapon down on the boar's exposed flank. The beast squealed in pain, its movements frantic as it tried to recover. Nor seized the opportunity, lunging forward to deliver a swift bite to its neck. Blood trickled from the wound, the fox's attack, leaving the boar weakened. The fight was brutal but short. The boar, though strong, was no match for the combined efforts of Rahim and Nor. With one final blow, it collapsed to the ground lifeless. Victory and survival. Rahim fell to his knees, panting. The weight of his first battle pressed heavily on him, but the sight of the fallen boar filled him with relief. "We did it," he whispered, turning to Nor. The spirit fox trotted over, her tail wagging as she nuzzled against him. The system's notification chimed. "Congratulations, you have defeated your first wild beast. Resources collected. Wild boar meat, leather." Rahim allowed himself a small smile. This is just the beginning. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Rahim began preparing for the night. The wild boar's meat would sustain them, and its leather might be useful for crafting. Nor curled up beside the fire, her bright eyes watching him intently. Rahim looked down at her, gratitude swelling in his chest. Together, they had survived their first trial. "Rest well, Nor," he said softly, stroking her fur. "Tomorrow, we face whatever this world throws at us." In the quiet of the night, as stars glittered above, Rahim felt a glimmer of hope. The path ahead would be perilous, but with Nor by his side, he believed they could conquer it. Chapter 05. Bravery and Victory in the First Battle. Under the dense canopy of the jungle, the tension was palpable. The air was heavy with anticipation as Rahim's gaze turned to Nor, the spirit fox, her sleek silver fur bristling with focus. She crouched low, her eyes locked onto the wild boar that lay sprawled lazily under the bushes. As Nor crept closer, the boar, a hulking beast with muscles rippling beneath its coarse hide, sensed the intrusion. It raised its massive head, its beady eyes narrowing at the audacious predator that dared to enter its domain. Rahim's eyes darted to the glowing interface in his vision, pulling up the details of the boar. Charging boar, level 1. Attributes, none. Skills, oh savage charge. After a brief build-up, the boar unleashes a powerful charge, capable of hurling enemies off their feet. Oh stomp, a devastating leap attack followed by repeated stomps designed to crush foes beneath its weight. Hidden attribute, earth. Status, alert. Special intelligence. Charging boars are gregarious creatures. Be cautious of hidden companions. Their thick hide makes them highly resistant to physical attacks, and their aggressive temperament makes them easily provoked. Rahim clenched his jaw. "A tough beast," he murmured, eyeing the boar's imposing frame and thick hide. Its skills weren't just dangerous. They were lethal, especially for someone still learning the ropes of survival in this new world. But it's not unbeatable, Rahim thought, determination hardening his resolve. With Nor's agility and his own strategy, the odds could be evened. The first move, Nor, Rahim whispered, his voice low but firm. "Get ready. Bite first, then claw." The spirit fox lowered her body further, her muscles coiled like a spring ready to snap. Her sharp claws extended from her delicate paws, glinting faintly in the dim light. With a quiet command from Rahim, Nor leaped forward, a silver blur slicing through the underbrush. The boar, startled by the sudden movement, let out a guttural snort and rose clumsily to its feet. It turned to face Nor, but its massive size made it slow to react. Before it could fully brace itself, Nor had already pounced onto its back. Her claws raked across the boar's tough hide, carving deep, bloody gashes into its flesh. The beast bellowed in rage and pain, its agonized squeals echoing through the forest. "Nor retreat," Rahim barked, his voice sharp with urgency. The fox obeyed instantly, leaping off the boar's back and darting toward Rahim, her nimble form disappearing into the safety of the nearby barrier. The boar's wrath. The wounded boar roared, its fury shaking the very ground beneath it. Its small, bloodshot eyes locked onto Noor as it activated its savage charge. The beast barreled forward, its massive frame crashing through the underbrush like a battering ram. Trees shook and dirt flew into the air as the boar thundered toward the fox. Rahim's heart pounded. He stood just inside the protective barrier, watching as Noor dashed back into safety, narrowly avoiding the boar's deadly charge. The boar hit the invisible barrier head-on with a thunderous dong. The rebounding force sent the beast sprawling to the ground, dazed and disoriented. Rahim allowed himself a grim smile. "The barrier works," he muttered. "We can use this." Unexpected reinforcements. The victory was short-lived. A rustling sound from the bushes made Rahim's blood run cold. 2 more boars emerged from the shadows, their muscular frames as intimidating as the first. Their arrival confirmed Rahim's fears. Charging boars were pack animals. The new arrivals snorted aggressively, their eyes scanning the scene. As if understanding their comrade's plight, they pawed at the ground and prepared to charge. Rahim cursed under his breath. Of course, no one in the chat mentioned the packs. The boars roared, and the forest seemed to tremble as they charged toward Rahim and Noor. "Noor, keep attacking the first one. Focus on its wounds." The spirit fox responded instantly, darting back through the barrier to slash at the injured boar. Her claws tore into its exposed flesh, her precision strikes deepening the gashes and weakening the beast further. A battle of attrition. The battle dragged on, with Rahim and Noor working in perfect coordination. The boars repeatedly charged at the barrier, only to be knocked back by its rebounding force. Each time, Noor would dart in to claw at their wounds or deliver a well-aimed bite, further draining their strength. Rahim's sharp eyes never left the battlefield. He called out commands, ensuring Noor stayed agile and avoided unnecessary risks. Hours seemed to pass as the fight wore on. The boars, once fearsome and full of rage, began to falter. Their movements slowed, their once powerful charges reduced to lumbering attempts at retaliation. Finally, the first boar collapsed, its massive body hitting the ground with a heavy thud. One by one, the others followed, their strength drained and their wounds too severe to continue. Victory at last. Rahim's chest heaved as he watched the final boar fall. The system's chime rang out, breaking the tense silence. Ding. Congratulations, you have successfully killed a level 1 charging boar. Ding. Congratulations, you have successfully killed a level 1 charging boar. Ding. Congratulations, you have successfully killed a level 1 charging boar. The notifications brought a wave of relief. Rahim turned to Noor, who sat panting at his feet, her silver fur matted with dirt and streaked with blood. "You were incredible, Noor," Rahim said softly, kneeling beside her to gently stroke her head. The spirit fox nuzzled his hand, her bright eyes shining with trust and loyalty. Securing the spoils. Rahim approached the fallen boars cautiously, his eyes scanning the surrounding forest for any signs of predators. The smell of blood was thick in the air, and he knew it could attract unwanted attention. He worked quickly, dragging the massive carcasses back into the safety of the barrier. The weight of the boars tested his strength, but adrenaline and determination pushed him forward. As he secured the last carcass, something glinted in the dirt near the first boar. Rahim's eyes widened in surprise. "Is that?" He bent down, brushing away the dirt to reveal a small, glowing shard. A mysterious drop. The shard radiated a faint, warm light, its surface etched with intricate patterns. The system's interface identified it immediately. "Congratulations, you have obtained Earth Crystal Shard. This rare item can be used to enhance or evolve beasts with Earth attributes." Rahim's excitement grew. "An evolution material, nor this changes everything. Reflection and resolve." As night fell, Rahim and Noor returned to the wooden house, their victory secured. A fire crackled softly in a corner, casting flickering shadows on the walls. Rahim sat cross-legged, his mind racing with possibilities. The battle had been a hard-won triumph, but it was only the beginning. The earth crystal shard in his hand felt like a beacon of hope, a sign that he and Noor could not only survive, but thrive in this brutal new world. He glanced at Noor, who lay curled up beside him, her breathing steady and peaceful. A small smile played on his lips. "We'll face whatever comes next together," he said softly. Outside, the jungle hummed with life, the stars above glinting like scattered jewels. The night was calm, but Rahim knew the peace would be short-lived. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new enemies, and new opportunities. But for now, he allowed himself a moment of rest, his heart steady with faith and resolve. "Inshallah," he whispered, "we'll endure." Chapter 06. Unveiling the Treasure and Gathering Resources. As the dust settled on the battlefield, Rahim approached the corpses of the 3 charging boars with a mixture of excitement and caution. The battle had been grueling, but the glow of white light emanating from beneath the fallen beasts promised a reward. Still wary of the possibility of predators drawn to the smell of blood, Rahim muttered a quiet Bismillah as he knelt by the first carcass. The faint light was partially obscured by the boars' massive bodies, making it impossible to fully see what lay beneath. The system intervenes. Before Rahim could deliberate further, the familiar mechanical voice of the system rang out, crisp and clear. "Beep. Charging boar carcasses X3 detected. Would you like to collect and dissect?" Rahim's face lit up. He hadn't the faintest idea how to properly butcher the beasts, but the system's offer was a godsend. "Yes, collect everything," he said eagerly. The system chimed. "Collecting initiated. You have received. Charging boar meat X100. You have received. Charging boar meat X100. You have received. Charging boar meat X100. Rahim's inventory filled rapidly with neatly portioned slabs of meat, each about 1 kilogram in size and of surprisingly high quality. He nodded approvingly. This alone could last Noor and me weeks. But the system wasn't finished. "You have received. Charging boar hide damaged X1. You have received. Charging boar hide damaged X1. You have received. Charging boar hide damaged X1. Rahim frowned as he inspected the hides. Each was riddled with claw and bite marks, remnants of Noor's ferocious attacks. While not in perfect condition, they might still prove useful later. A hidden surprise. With the carcasses now gone, the white light that had drawn Rahim's attention came into full view. Nestled where the boars had fallen were 3 bronze treasure chests, their surfaces gleaming faintly in the fading sunlight. The system chimed again. "Bronze treasure chest X3 detected. Open to reveal random rewards. High risk, high reward." Rahim's heart raced with anticipation. The promise of treasure was irresistible, though his caution whispered of potential traps. He bent closer, and as he scrutinized the chests, his golden finger ability activated, displaying additional information. Treasure chest number 1 contents: Fire Crystal Core X1, Bronze Block X10, Blueprint, Barbecue Grill X1. Satisfied there was no immediate danger, Rahim opened the first chest with steady hands. The first chest. As the lid creaked open, a warm red glow spilled forth. "You have obtained Fire Crystal Core X1. You have obtained Bronze Block X10. You have obtained Blueprint, Barbecue Grill X1. Rahim inspected the items with growing excitement. Fire Crystal Core, a rare item used for evolving beasts with fire attributes. Invaluable in both combat and crafting. Bronze Block, a durable material extracted from deep mines, essential for crafting tools and weapons. Blueprint, Barbecue Grill, combine materials to create a versatile grill. Requirements: Iron Block X10, Bronze Block X1, Wood X10. Rahim smirked as his gaze drifted to the massive inventory of meat. "Looks like we're eating well tonight." Blueprints and learning. With the blueprint in hand, the system prompted him. "Blueprint detected. Would you like to learn?" Rahim wasted no time. "Learn it." The system responded immediately. Blueprint learned. Barbecue grill. Materials required for crafting added to the crafting panel. Rahim inspected the materials he had on hand. While the bronze blocks were sufficient, he lacked the iron and would needed to complete the grill. Wood should be easy enough, he mused aloud, but iron, that might take some effort. Gathering resources. Rahim decided to tackle the easier task first. Collecting wood. He ventured a short distance from the safety of the wooden house, his sharp eyes scanning the surrounding trees. Spotting a sturdy-looking tree, he rolled up his sleeves and approached it with determination. With no tools at his disposal, Rahim resorted to the simplest method he knew, his fists. He chuckled to himself as he recalled video games where characters punch trees to gather wood. Let's see if reality matches fiction, he muttered. His knuckles met the bark with a dull thud. The tree shivered slightly, and the system chimed. You have obtained Wood X1. Encouraged, Rahim continued, striking the tree rhythmically. Each punch yielded a small but steady stream of wood. After what felt like an eternity, the tree began to creak ominously. Ka-ka-ka! With a thunderous crash, the tree collapsed, vanishing into the system's inventory as a neat pile of logs. Rahim wiped the sweat from his brow, inspecting his swollen hands. Effective, but not sustainable. I'll need tools soon. His inventory now displayed. Wood X10, a community of survivors. Returning to the wooden house, Rahim decided to take a moment to check the world chat channel. It was abuzz with activity, filled with both cries for help and triumphant boasts. I found a river near my base. Fresh water is life. Anyone know how to tame a snake? It keeps hissing at me, and I think it might bite soon. Got apples from a tree near my house. Finally, something to eat. Rahim perked up at the mention of apples. One user had even uploaded a picture of an apple tree, its branches laden with red fruit. The chat exploded with responses. Brother, where did you find this tree? Can we trade? I'll give you iron for apples. Good man, may Allah bless you. Rahim shook his head with a wry smile. The camaraderie and desperation of the survivors were a testament to human resilience. We're all just trying to make it, he murmured, preparing for the future. With the wood now secured, Rahim's next step was clear. Finding iron. The crafting panel listed iron as an essential resource for nearly everything. Tools, weapons, and now the grill. He glanced at Noor, who sat by the doorway, her silver fur shimmering in the firelight. She seemed alert but calm, her sharp eyes scanning the horizon. We'll start tomorrow, Rahim said softly, scratching her head. Noor yipped in agreement, leaning into his touch. As the night deepened, Rahim prepared a simple fire outside the house. With some ingenuity, he rigged up a makeshift spit to roast a portion of the boar meat. The aroma filled the air, a tantalizing promise of the feast to come. Rahim bit into the freshly roasted meat, savoring its smoky flavor. He leaned back, gazing at the stars above. Today was a victory, he murmured, but there's a long road ahead. Noor curled up beside him, her steady breathing a comforting rhythm in the quiet of the night. Together, they rested, ready to face whatever challenges tomorrow might bring. Chapter 07. The Fire Spirit Fox and a Feast of Roasted Meat. The twilight sky deepened as Rahim, weary from his efforts, approached a tree with renewed determination. Just as he prepared to strike, his eyes caught a glimmer on the ground, a dazzling red apple glowing faintly. An apple, he murmured, bending to pick it up. The system chimed in. System notification. You have obtained an Apple X1. Rahim held the fruit in his hand, its vibrant hue and subtle fragrance providing a much-needed morale boost. Alhamdulillah, what a welcome surprise, he said, tucking the apple into his inventory. Returning to the task at hand, Rahim continued gathering wood. The repetitive pounding of his fists against tree trunks filled the air. As the trees fell, one by one, his inventory filled with logs, yet no more apples appeared. A problem to solve. Rahim paused to assess his progress. The materials for crafting a barbecue grill were slowly coming together, but a key element was still missing: iron. The system offered a hint, a line of text, glowing red, beneath the crafting requirements. Iron, obtainable through underground digging or mining in caves. Treasures may also be unearthed during excavation. Rahim sighed, rubbing his sore hands. The thought of clawing at the earth with his bare hands seemed absurd. By the time I dig out enough iron, I'll be as battered as these trees, he muttered. Yet, as he examined the blueprint for the grill, something unexpected happened. The crafting button blinked faintly, indicating it could be activated. Raheem frowned. Is this a glitch? Or a gift? Curiosity overruled caution, and he tapped the button. The barbecue grill. System notification. You have successfully crafted a barbecue grill X1. System notification. Due to insufficient iron, additional bronze X5 has been deducted. You have received a bronze barbecue grill. Raheem's jaw dropped. Wait, it used my bronze. He stared at the glowing green grill now, sitting in his inventory, a mixture of disbelief and resignation washing over him. Well, I suppose it's better than nothing. As nightfall crept closer, Raheem decided it was time to retreat to the safety of his wooden house. Nor, his loyal spirit fox, followed closely, her silver fur shimmering faintly under the moonlight. A fire awakens. Inside the wooden house, Raheem set the grill on the floor and surveyed the dim interior. The lack of light was a glaring issue. He considered traditional methods like rubbing wood together to create a spark, but quickly dismissed the idea. That's a skill I don't have, he muttered. His gaze shifted to the fire crystal core in his inventory. It emitted a warm, red glow, its fiery essence illuminating the small space. Raheem pulled it out, and immediately Noor's behavior changed. She began circling him, her eyes fixed on the core. A soft hiss escaped her throat as she pawed at the ground anxiously. Raheem crouched beside her, stroking her fur to calm her. Easy, Noor. This is for you, he said, holding the core out to her. Noor stopped pacing and looked up at him, her intelligent eyes gleaming with gratitude. She rubbed her head against his palm before gently picking up the crystal core with her teeth. The spirit fox evolves. As Noor swallowed the core, her body shuddered, and she let out a soft, pained cry. Raheem watched, concern etched across his face. A faint, red flame appeared around her, forming a shimmering, semi-transparent barrier. Her fur began to glow, shifting from silver to a fiery red, as though she had been imbued with the essence of the crystal itself. The air grew warmer, and Raheem stepped back to give her space. Moments later, the transformation was complete. Noor stood taller, her fur now ablaze with a faint, fiery aura. She padded toward Raheem, her tail swishing with newfound energy, and nuzzled against his leg. The system's voice broke the silence. System notification. Your beast spirit fox's fire attribute has been successfully awakened. System notification. Your beast spirit fox has acquired the skill Red Flame. Red Flame. Raheem opened Noor's updated stats to read the description of her new skill. Red Flame launches a blazing fireball at the enemy. Upon impact, the fireball has a chance to explode, causing additional burn damage. A powerful and versatile attack. A small smile tugged at Raheem's lips. You're incredible, Noor, he said softly, kneeling to rub her ears. The system chimed again. System notification. Your beast spirit fox's loyalty has increased by 5 points. With Noor's transformation complete, Raheem decided to put her new ability to the test. He retrieved a piece of wood from his inventory and placed it in the barbecue grill. Noor, Raheem said, pointing at the grill. Ignite it. Noor tilted her head before her tail stiffened. A flame the size of a human head formed at its tip, glowing brilliantly. With a flick of her tail, she hurled the flame toward the grill. Boom! The grill roared to life, the wood inside catching fire instantly. The warm, crackling glow filled the room, casting dancing shadows across the walls. The feast. Raheem placed 2 portions of charging boar meat onto the grill. As the fat sizzled and dripped into the flames, the air filled with the mouth-watering aroma of roasted meat. To complete the meal, he placed the apple nearby, allowing it to caramelize in the heat. The combination of savory pork and sweet apple created a tantalizing contrast that made Raheem's stomach growl in anticipation. He sat back, watching the meat cook, and couldn't help but reflect on how far he had come. While others are struggling, I'm eating like a king, he thought with a wry smile. A picture worth 1,000 words. Raheem suddenly remembered the World Chat channel. He still had one chance left to speak for the day. Inspiration struck, and he called out to the system. Take a picture. A soft click confirmed the capture. Raheem opened the chat panel and uploaded the image of his meal. A perfectly roasted pork chop, a caramelized apple, and the glowing grill beneath them. The chat, which had been filled with despair and complaints, fell silent. Then chaos erupted. What? A barbecue? I'm still eating grass. Big brother, please share your wisdom. How did you make this? I'd trade my left arm for just one bite of that pork. Shrimp and pig's heart. This is torture. Adopt me, Dad. I'll do anything for some roasted meat. Raheem chuckled, amused by the reactions. He knew the image would stir envy, but it was also a reminder of what was possible with careful planning and a bit of luck. Reflections by the fire. As the meat finished cooking, Raheem took his first bite. The flavor was rich and smoky, the texture tender and juicy. It was the best meal he'd had since arriving in this strange world. Noor sat beside him, nibbling on her own piece of meat. Her fiery red fur glowed softly in the light of the grill. Raheem leaned back, gazing at the stars visible through the cracks in the wooden roof. The challenges ahead would be many, but for now, he allowed himself a moment of peace. Ya Allah, he whispered, grant me the strength to continue and guide me on this path. The warmth of the fire and the presence of Noor filled him with a quiet resolve. Together, they would face whatever trials awaited them, forging a path of survival, faith, and determination. Chapter 08. Bartering the Bounty. The smoky aroma of the roasted meat wafted through Raheem's wooden house, blending with the warm glow of the crackling fire. The spirit fox, Noor, sat obediently by his side, her fiery red fur shimmering as she licked the remnants of her meal. For Raheem, the first bite of the perfectly cooked pork felt like a long-forgotten luxury, rejuvenating his tired body after a grueling day. But just as he began to savor the rare moment of peace, the system interrupted with a series of incessant chimes. System notification. You have received a new private message. System notification. You have received a new friend request. The notifications piled up rapidly, each accompanied by an increasingly loud ping. Raheem sighed and opened the chat box, only to see that the private messages had ballooned to 99+, and friend requests continued flooding in. The community buzz. Skimming through the messages, Raheem realized that most were from desperate survivors begging for food. Some offered trades, but many simply hoped for handouts. Among the chaos, a handful of thoughtful proposals stood out. Offers to exchange valuable materials like iron, stone, and wood for his surplus pork. Raheem leaned back, weighing his options. His inventory still contained nearly 300 portions of Vanguard pork from his earlier hunt, far more than he and Noor could ever consume alone. Establishing trade. To get ahead, Raheem knew he couldn't rely solely on food. Tools, materials, and blueprints were crucial to advancing his survival strategy. With this in mind, he opened the community trading interface and began calculating fair exchange rates. 1 bronze block equals 5 iron blocks equals 25 wood equals 25 stone. 1 iron block equals 5 wood equals 5 stone. Satisfied with the rough equivalence, Raheem listed 50 portions of Vanguard pork in the marketplace. Vanguard pork X1 is equal to 5 wood. Vanguard pork X1 is equal to 5 stone. He hesitated before confirming the listings, remembering how difficult it was for others to gather even basic resources. But survival demanded pragmatism. Let the trade begin, Raheem muttered, hitting confirm. The marketplace frenzy. No sooner had the pork gone live than the chat channel erupted. Fresh pork is up. 50 portions. Unbelievable. Who even has this much food right now? Wait, it's that guy, the one with the barbecue photo. The legend is real. Excitement quickly turned into chaos. Stop announcing it to everyone. You're ruining my chances. 5 wood for 1 portion. That's robbery, but I'm starving. Big brother, just 1 portion, please. I'll do anything. Raheem's system chimed again. System notification. You have sold Vanguard pork X1. Received iron block X1. System notification. You have sold Vanguard pork X1. Received wood X5. Within moments, all 50 portions of pork had been claimed. A storm of speculation. The rapid sale left the chat buzzing. Speculation about Raheem's success began to swirl. Where did he get all that meat? Did he tame a boar and then eat it out of desperation? No way anyone could kill a Vanguard pig this early in the game. It's possible he got lucky and found one already injured. Some doubters even accused him of exaggeration. If he's so skilled, why hasn't he shared his method? He's just lucky. Calling him a legend is too much. He probably stumbled into it. Rahim shook his head at the baseless rumors. Let them speculate, he thought. Actions speak louder than words. Doubling down. The overwhelming demand for food gave Rahim an idea. Raise the stakes. This time, he listed 100 portions of pork, but with higher prices. Vanguard Pork X1 is equal to 2 iron blocks. Vanguard Pork X1 is equal to 10 wood. Vanguard Pork X1 is equal to 10 stone. Vanguard Pork X1 equals any blueprint X1. The increased cost reflected the scarcity of food in the early days of survival, and Rahim was confident people would pay. As expected, the chat exploded again. He's listed another 100 portions? The price has doubled. Is he trying to bankrupt us? Well, what choice do we have? You can't eat stones or wood. Negotiating with the desperate. Private messages flooded Rahim's inbox once more. Some begged for discounts, while others offered creative trades. A user named Ibrahim messaged, "Brother, I have a crafting blueprint for a simple spear. It's yours for 1 portion of pork." Rahim's interest peaked. A weapon would significantly improve his ability to hunt and defend himself. Deal, Rahim replied, quickly finalizing the trade. The blueprint appeared in his inventory, and he learned it instantly. Another trader offered an iron pickaxe blueprint for 2 portions of pork. Rahim eagerly accepted, knowing it would save him countless hours of manual labor, reaping the rewards. By the end of the day, Rahim's inventory had grown considerably. Iron blocks, plus 20. Wood, plus 200. Stone, plus 150. Blueprints learned. Spear, iron pickaxe. The trades had left him with a treasure trove of materials, securing a foundation for the days ahead. A stirred community. On the world chat, Rahim's name became a frequent topic of discussion. This guy is a machine. Who even has this much food? Forget complaining, he's figured out how to survive. We should be learning from him. Respect to the boss. He's living while the rest of us are barely surviving. Rahim ignored the chatter. His focus remained on planning his next move, building toward tomorrow. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Rahim prepared a simple meal using his grill. Noor curled up beside him, her fiery fur glowing faintly in the darkening room. The day had been a success, but Rahim knew it was just the beginning. With the materials he had gathered, he could begin crafting tools and weapons, making survival less of a struggle and more of a strategy. He whispered a quiet Alhamdulillah as he gazed at Noor, whose loyalty and strength had made everything possible. Together, they had turned the odds in their favor. "This is only the start," Rahim murmured, determination burning as brightly as the fire beside him. Chapter 9. Surviving the cold and crafting warmth. The night fell upon the strange land with a chilling finality, as if a heavy blanket of darkness had been draped across the world. Rahim shivered, huddled close to the weak flame of his barbecue grill. Despite the fire crackling mere inches away, the cold seemed to pierce through his bones. The system broke the silence, its mechanical tone echoing through the night. System notification: the night is dark, and the temperature difference between day and night is immense. Please keep warm. Bad weather is the greatest challenge you face. Rahim sighed and leaned closer to the flames. The light flickered against his face, casting dancing shadows on the walls of his humble wooden house. Noor, his spirit fox, sat curled up beside him, her fiery red for providing her some protection against the biting cold. The suffering of others. While Rahim managed to stave off the worst of the cold, he couldn't help but think of the others. Their shelters were crude and drafty, offering little protection against the freezing wind that howled outside. The world chat buzzed with cries of despair. "I'm freezing. I don't think I'll survive the night. Why is it so cold? My hands are numb, and my beast has abandoned me. I miss my family. I didn't even get to say goodbye." The harsh reality of their predicament was evident. The transition to this new world had not only stripped them of comfort, but also of the warmth of companionship and the familiarity of their old lives. Rahim felt a pang of guilt as he glanced at the fire that flickered steadily beside him. I have to do more, he thought, standing abruptly. The idea of warmth. Outside his wooden house, Rahim's keen eyes scanned the barren landscape illuminated faintly by the moonlight. The ground, once a riverbed, was littered with black pebbles of varying sizes. He knelt, picking one up and rolling it in his hand. The dense stone absorbed heat exceptionally well, a trait he could exploit. This could work, Rahim muttered to himself. He quickly gathered a pile of pebbles and arranged them in a circle near his grill. The glowing embers from the barbecue fire were placed in the center of the stones, creating a makeshift heating station. As the pebbles absorbed the warmth, Rahim's vision sparked with a new idea. Heating stones. These could save lives tonight. The market. Discovery. While waiting for the pebbles to heat up, Rahim idly scrolled through the community marketplace. Among the various listings, one caught his eye. Shiny crystal cores, price, private chat. The listing came with a note. If you don't have anything valuable, don't bother. These cores are rare, and I know their worth. Only serious offers. Rahim's interest was piqued. Crystal cores were crucial for enhancing beasts or crafting advanced tools, and he needed them to ensure Nor's evolution stayed ahead of others. Without hesitation, he added the seller Lin Xiang as a friend and initiated a conversation. Rahim, brother, I see you're selling crystal cores. How about a trade? 10 portions of pork for 1 core. The reply came almost immediately. Lin Xiang, 10 portions? Are you joking? These are rare items. If you want one, it's 100 portions. Take it or leave it. Rahim frowned at the exorbitant demand. It was clear Lin Xiang intended to exploit his need, but Rahim wasn't one to be pushed around. If he wants to play games, let him, Rahim thought, closing the chat without further negotiation. There's always another way. Crafting the heating stones. Rahim turned his attention back to the pile of heated pebbles. Reaching out to test one, he recoiled instantly. Hot! He exclaimed, shaking his hand. 2 small blisters had already formed on his fingers. Despite the pain, Rahim couldn't help but smile. These will work perfectly. He quickly listed the stones in the community marketplace. Heating stone X1 is equal to 2 wood or 2 stone. He added a note. Can be used to keep warm. Also effective for cooking thinly sliced meat. Warning. Handle with care to avoid burns. The stones were an instant hit. The marketplace frenzy. The chat lit up with excitement. Heating stones. Finally, I won't freeze to death. I owe you my life, boss. Please keep making more of these. I'm buying one right now. These stones are a godsend. The system chimed repeatedly as the stones sold out. System notification. You have sold heating stone X1. Received wood X2. System notification. You have sold heating stone X1. Received stone X2. Satisfied with the success, Rahim leaned back and watched as the chat continued to buzz. A change in tone. Meanwhile, Lin Xiang had been keeping an eye on the marketplace, hoping Rahim would return to negotiate for his crystal cores. Instead, he saw a photo uploaded by another survivor. It depicted a heating stone, steaming gently, with a perfectly roasted pork chop sizzling on top. Big Brother Rahim strikes again. Heating stones are the new lifesavers, the caption read. Lin Xiang's stomach growled audibly as he stared at the image. The cold around him seemed to intensify, and the prospect of a warm meal became almost unbearable. He sent Rahim another message. Lin Xiang, brother, I've run out of ingredients. Can you sell me a heating stone and some pork on credit? I'm freezing to death over here. Rahim smirked at the irony. I'm sorry, but I don't do credit, he replied curtly. The power shift. Desperation soon overtook Lin Xiang's pride. Lin Xiang, all right, fine. I'll trade 1 crystal core for a heating stone and 10 portions of pork. Rahim's smile widened. He replied swiftly. Prices have gone up. 1 crystal core gets you 5 portions of pork. If you want a heating stone, you'll need to trade something else. Lin Xiang fumed, but he had no choice. The cold was relentless, and the thought of surviving the night without warmth was unbearable. Begrudgingly, he agreed, adding a blueprint for basic farmland to sweeten the deal. The system confirmed the trade. System notification. You have sold heating stone X1. Received Farmland Blueprint X1. System notification. You have sold Pork X5. Received Grass-type Crystal Core X1. Victory and reflection. As Rahim stored the items, a sense of triumph washed over him. Lin Xiang's earlier arrogance had crumbled, replaced by desperation. Patience always pays, Rahim mused. He learned the farmland blueprint immediately, knowing it would be essential for sustainable food production. Rahim glanced at Noor, who had fallen asleep by the warm stones, her soft breaths adding a rhythmic calm to the room. Together, we'll not only survive, but thrive, he whispered. Outside, the cold night pressed on, but inside the wooden house, warmth and hope burned brightly. Chapter 10. The Harvest of Blueprints and the Dual-Element Spirit Fox. The faint light of dawn pierced the misty horizon, but the world outside Rahim's wooden house remained shrouded in a thick, ghostly fog. The sound of a cow's low, guttural moo startled him awake. The visibility was less than 5 meters, the air heavy with moisture. Stepping outside, Rahim felt the cool dew settle on his hair and face. The fog carried the sweet scent of grass and damp earth, a reminder of the life hidden beyond the veil. A surprise in the inventory. Yawning, Rahim stretched and opened the community marketplace to check the results of his trades. The last batch of Vanguard pork had sold out overnight, and the notifications confirmed his success. As he scrolled through his inventory, his breath hitched. Among the newly acquired materials, 2 items stood out. Wool coat blueprint requires sheepskin X1. Comfortable bed blueprint requires cowhide X2, sheepskin X4. Wood X100. Rahim rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Who would trade such treasures for pork? Did they not realize the value of these items? He chuckled to himself, wondering if the trader was in a region without access to livestock. But before he could dwell on it further, the distant sounds of animals disrupted his thoughts. The call of the hunt, the lowing of cattle, and bleating of sheep echoed faintly through the mist. Rahim's pulse quickened as a plan formed in his mind. A foggy day, he murmured, perfect for hunting. With a renewed sense of purpose, Rahim darted back into the wooden house. Noor, his spirit fox, was curled up near the stove, her red fur glowing faintly from the fire's warmth. Grinning, Rahim tugged gently at Noor's tail. "Noor, wake up," he called softly. The fox opened one eye, growling playfully in protest. Rahim stroked her head, saying, "Come on, it's time to hunt." The mention of a hunt made Noor's ears perk up instantly. She jumped to her feet, circling Rahim excitedly. "Let's go," he said, grabbing his makeshift weapon and stepping into the mist. Through the thorns, navigating the dense undergrowth was no easy task. The fog clung to the ground like a thick blanket, and sharp thorns tore at Rahim's clothes with every step. Noor, however, moved effortlessly through the brush, her nose low to the ground as she sniffed for prey. After nearly an hour of trudging, Noor froze. She turned back to Rahim, her sharp eyes focused ahead. Rahim crouched low, pushing aside a cluster of shrubs to get a better view. A small herd of heavy-armored cows and springbok antelopes stood clustered around a patch of green shrubs, greedily feasting on the tender leaves. A calculated strike. Rahim's mind raced. The springboks were agile and skittish. If one bolted, the entire herd would follow, leaving him empty-handed. He had to strike fast and decisively. Turning to Noor, he whispered, "You'll sneak behind the springbok. Wait for my signal, then use red flame on its hind legs." Noor nodded, her understanding evident. She flattened herself to the ground and began creeping toward the herd, her fiery fur blending with the dense mist. The thick fog served as a perfect cover, and Noor reached her target without raising an alarm. Rahim watched closely, his heart pounding. "Now," he whispered sharply. The first kill. A fiery orb materialized behind Noor, glowing ominously in the foggy air. With a flick of her tail, she launched the flame at the nearest springbok's hind legs. Bang! The explosion was deafening, and the targeted springbok collapsed with a pained cry, its hind legs crippled. The rest of the herd scattered in a panicked frenzy, their hooves pounding against the earth as they fled. The injured springbok struggled to rise, its movements weak and unsteady. Noor wasted no time. She pounced onto its back, her claws flashing in the dim light. "Claw attack," Rahim commanded. With a swift slash, Nor tore open the springbok's throat. Blood spattered onto the grass as the creature let out a final bleat before falling limp. The rewards of the hunt. The system chimed. System notification. Your pet has successfully killed a level 2 springbok. System notification. Your pet has leveled up. System notification. Your pet skill claw attack has increased in proficiency. Raheem approached the springbok's corpse, patting Noor's head approvingly. Well done, he said with a smile. He quickly issued a command, collect and disassemble. The system processed the request. Springbok meat X20. Sheepskin damaged X1. Bronze treasure chest X1. Raheem's excitement grew. The hunt was off to a strong start, and he wasn't about to stop now. Let's find the rest of the herd, he said, motioning for Noor to follow. A morning of triumph. As the sun began to rise, the fog gradually lifted, revealing the aftermath of their hunt. The once peaceful bushes had become a battlefield, with the scattered remains of prey marking their victory. By the time the mist fully cleared, Raheem and Noor were exhausted but triumphant. They had taken down 2 heavy armored cows and 5 springbok antelopes. Their spoils included sheepskin X5, mutton X100, beef X200, cowhide X2. The bronze treasure chests they collected contained more mundane items, wood, iron, and a few low-value trinkets. Raheem decided to save these for the trading marketplace, where they might fetch a better price. A new opportunity for Noor. As Raheem inventoried their gains, he glanced at Noor, who stood proudly beside him. The system had notified him earlier that Noor had leveled up during the hunt. Raheem's thoughts turned to the grass-type crystal core he had acquired from Lin Xiang the night before. With Noor's fire attribute already awakened, adding a second element could make her even more formidable. Pulling the crystal core from his inventory, Raheem knelt beside Noor. Ready for an upgrade? He asked. The fox tilted her head curiously, but didn't hesitate as Raheem placed the glowing green crystal in front of her. The second awakening. Noor sniffed the crystal cautiously before swallowing it whole. Almost immediately, her body convulsed, and a faint green aura surrounded her. Leaves and vines seemed to sprout from thin air, intertwining with the fiery aura already emanating from her. Raheem stepped back, watching in awe as Noor's transformation unfolded. Her fur took on a subtle green sheen, blending seamlessly with the red flames. The air around her seemed to hum with newfound energy. The system chimed again. System notification. Your pet spirit fox has awakened its second attribute, grass. System notification. New skill unlocked. Vine bind. Vine bind. Raheem opened Noor's updated stats to read the description of her new skill. Vine bind. Summons sturdy vines to ensnare enemies, immobilizing them temporarily. The vines can absorb fire energy to deal additional burn damage. Raheem couldn't hide his grin. Dual element abilities. Noor, you're unstoppable now. Reflecting on success. As Raheem and Noor returned to the wooden house, their inventories overflowing with spoils, Raheem felt a deep sense of accomplishment. The day's hunt had not only provided valuable resources, but also strengthened their bond and capabilities. Sitting by the fire that evening, Raheem whispered a quiet Alhamdulillah for the blessings of the day. Noor lay curled at his feet, her fiery green aura casting a warm glow around the room. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but for now, Raheem allowed himself a moment of peace. Together, Noor, he murmured, will conquer this world one step at a time. Chapter 11. The Power of Nature and Cultivating Farmland. The sun cast a golden glow over Raheem's humble wooden house as he returned, weary but content after a morning spent hunting and gathering. He collapsed onto the straw mat inside, the scratchy material reminding him of the cold, unforgiving nights he had endured. The 3-day novice protection period was nearly over, and Raheem knew the looming challenges ahead required careful preparation. There's no time to waste, he muttered, glancing at his inventory. Crafting warmth. The wool coat. The biting cold of previous nights lingered in his memory. Raheem decided his first priority was crafting the wool coat, a blueprint he had acquired in an earlier trade. Opening the blueprint details, the system prompted. Wool coat blueprint. Required materials, sheepskin X5. Learn. Raheem replied instantly, learn. The blueprint disintegrated into particles of white light, and the system chimed. System notification. You have successfully learned the method to craft a wool coat. Rahim withdrew the required sheepskin from his inventory and murmured the crafting command. White light enveloped the materials, and moments later, 5 soft, warm wool coats appeared before him. Inspecting one, Rahim marveled at the craftsmanship. The coat was thick and luxurious, its natural insulation a perfect barrier against the night's chill. He stowed them away, knowing they would be invaluable in the days to come. A bed worthy of comfort. The straw mat under him had become intolerable. Remembering the comfortable bed blueprint, Rahim pulled it out and studied its requirements. Cowhide X2, sheepskin X4, wood X1000. Rahim had gathered enough materials during his morning excursions, so he activated the blueprint without hesitation. The system's light enveloped the crafting area, and in its place emerged a sturdy wooden bed adorned with soft cowhide and sheepskin. It radiated comfort, and Rahim couldn't resist lying down immediately. "This is heavenly," he murmured, sinking into the plush bedding. Nor, his spirit fox, leapt onto the bed, curling up beside him with an expression of pure contentment. Nor's second awakening. As Rahim rested, he recalled the grass-type crystal core he had obtained from Lin Xiang. This was the perfect opportunity to strengthen Nor further. Reaching into his inventory, he pulled out the core, its emerald glow filling the room with a serene light. Nor's ears perked up, and she wagged her tail excitedly. "This is for you," Rahim said, tossing the core gently. Nor snapped it up eagerly, and almost instantly, her body was enveloped in a cocoon of green light. Her fiery red first shimmered as streaks of emerald crept across her frame. One of her eyes turned a vivid green, and a second tail sprouted, its hue matching the crystal's glow. The system chimed. "System notification. Your tamed beast, Spirit Fox, has successfully awakened its second attribute, grass. System notification. New skill unlocked. Force of nature. System notification. Your Spirit Fox's loyalty has increased by 5. Rahim opened Nor's updated stats. Dual Element Spirit Fox stats. Name: Dual Element Spirit Fox. Level: 2. Attributes: Fire, Grass. Skills: O Red Flame. Summons blazing flames that explode on impact, causing burn damage. O Force of Nature. Enhances plant growth exponentially and calms frightened beasts. O Bite, Claw Attack. Hidden attribute: Water unactivated. Loyalty: 75. Preferences: hunting, adventuring, and play. Rahim grinned as Nor stretched, her 2 tails swishing confidently. "You're unstoppable now," he said, scratching behind her ears. Cultivating the farmland. With Nor's new abilities, Rahim turned his attention to the basic farmland blueprint he had acquired. He walked to the open field behind his house, where tall grass and wild trees obscured the surroundings. "This will be the perfect spot," Rahim said, raising the blueprint. The system prompted him to confirm, and he activated it with a single command. A brilliant white barrier descended, covering the area. The trees within were uprooted, and the ground transformed into rich, black soil. A light drizzle began, soaking the earth and preparing it for cultivation. When the transformation was complete, Rahim admired the 20-square-meter patch of fertile farmland. The black soil glistened in the sunlight, its richness promising a bountiful harvest. Clearing the farmland. Despite the transformation, fallen trees and weeds littered the field. Rahim frowned, realizing it was impractical to clear the debris manually. Turning to Nor, he gestured at the overgrowth. "We'll burn it," he said. "The ashes will fertilize the soil." Nor tilted her head, but obeyed as Rahim directed her to unleash her red flame on the weeds. A controlled fire blazed across the field, reducing the debris to smoldering ash. The heat scorched the air, but Rahim and Nor stayed at a safe distance. When the flames died down, the field was clear, and the soil was enriched with natural fertilizer. A surprise discovery. As Rahim inspected the charred remains, he noticed something unusual among the ashes. Small, dark lumps stood out against the blackened ground. The system chimed. "System notification. You have discovered semi-finished charcoal. Collect." Rahim's eyes widened. Charcoal was a valuable resource for heating and cooking, far superior to burning raw wood. "Yes, collect it all," he commanded. After an hour of work, his inventory held. Semi-finished charcoal X20. Sweaty and covered in soot, Rahim couldn't help but smile. This will make nights so much easier. Planting seeds of hope. The farmland was ready, but Rahim had no seeds to plant. He opened the community marketplace, hoping to find someone selling seeds. The chat was bustling with activity. Anyone selling rice or wheat seeds? I'll trade wood or pork. I have berry seeds. Interested in a trade? Who has vegetable seeds? I'll give iron blocks for them. Rahim scanned the listings, his determination growing. If I can secure seeds, we'll have food for the long term, he thought. Reflections and resolve. As the sun set, Rahim stood at the edge of his newly cultivated field. The fertile soil, the piles of charcoal, and Noor's newfound strength filled him with a deep sense of accomplishment. He whispered a quiet Alhamdulillah, grateful for the opportunities and blessings of the day. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but for now, he allowed himself to dream of a future where his efforts bore fruit, both literally and metaphorically. This land will sustain us, he murmured to Noor, who wagged her dual tails in agreement. Together, we'll make it thrive. Chapter 12. The beginnings of a simple farm. The day was settling into a calm rhythm as Rahim returned to the wooden house, scrolling through the community marketplace for essential items. Listings filled the screen, but most offered low-value trades like fish and even rotting meat. Fresh fish X1 price. Wood X5 or stone X5. Stranded dead fish X1 price. Wood X2 or stone X2. Rahim frowned. I don't need food right now, he muttered. His inventory was still well-stocked, with the spoils of his previous hunts. What Rahim sought was something far more valuable. Crops. Searching for seeds. Rahim knew that cultivating crops was key to a sustainable future. He needed something resilient with a short growth cycle, high yield, and minimal maintenance. But the marketplace was flooded with mediocre options. One listing caught his eye. Wild rice seeds X1. Description. Poor quality rice seeds with low yield. Requires water near the farm. Difficult to process after harvest. Rahim shook his head. Wild rice wasn't worth the effort. It required water access, intensive labor to shell, and the yield was poor. Frustration mounted as he scrolled further, until a peculiar listing stopped him mid-swipe. Sweet potato vines X100. Price. Meat X5 or wood X25. Description. Found in wild grass. Note. Sweet potatoes are edible, but the leaves cause nausea and diarrhea. No refunds. Rahim's eyes lit up. Sweet potatoes were a perfect crop, easy to plant, resilient, and capable of growing with minimal care. This seller doesn't understand their value, he thought, chuckling. Without hesitation, Rahim traded 5 portions of mutton for the vines, planting the sweet potato vines. As the system confirmed the trade, Rahim retrieved the sweet potato vines from his inventory and inspected them carefully. These will do just fine, he murmured, separating the vines into manageable segments for planting. He carried the vines to his newly cultivated farmland. The soft, fertile soil was easy to work with. Using a simple stick as a tool, Rahim poked small holes into the ground, placing the sweet potato vines into each one before covering them with soil. The process was repetitive and backbreaking. By the time Rahim finished planting the vines across the 20-square-meter plot, his back ached and sweat dripped from his brow. As he surveyed the planted rows, a sense of accomplishment washed over him. It's humble work, he said aloud, but it's the beginning of something great. The idea of livestock. Looking at the leftover sweet potato vines, Rahim realized they could be put to use as livestock feed. His mind wandered back to a listing he had seen earlier in the marketplace. Charging piglets X10. Price. Any meat X50. Description. Stolen from a charging pig herd. Cannot be slaughtered for meat yet, but can eat grass. Beware of their restlessness and mild attack power. Rahim grinned. The idea of raising livestock fit perfectly into his vision of self-sufficiency. The piglets could eat the sweet potato leaves, and their manure could fertilize the farmland. It was a closed-loop system, efficient and sustainable. Constructing a pigsty. After completing the trade and acquiring the piglets, Rahim heard a raucous commotion coming from his wooden house. Rushing inside, he found the 10 gray piglets running amok, toppling items and squealing loudly. Well, I can't keep them here, Rahim muttered. Lacking a proper pigsty blueprint, Rahim improvised. He selected an open area near his farmland, where the terrain was relatively clear, and began constructing a simple enclosure. Using wood from his inventory, he built a triangular framework between 3 sturdy trees. He reinforced the structure with vines to secure the wood and lined the bottom with stones for added stability. It was crude, but by the time the makeshift pigsty was finished, Rahim stood back and admired his work. "Not bad for a day's effort," he said, wiping sweat from his brow. One by one, he carried the piglets into their new home. They squealed in protest initially, but soon settled into their enclosure, munching on the sweet potato leaves Rahim had provided. A self-sufficient cycle. As the sun began to set, Rahim leaned against the pigsty, watching the piglets explore their surroundings. In the distance, the sweet potato vines swayed gently in the evening breeze, their leaves glistening with dew. Rahim envisioned the future. The vines would feed the pigs, and the pigs would produce manure to enrich the soil. The sweet potatoes would feed him more, and perhaps even be bartered for other goods. "This is how we thrive," he said, smiling to himself. Nourishing the land. Nor, his loyal spirit fox, bounded toward him, her dual tails wagging playfully. Rahim knelt beside her, stroking her fiery red and emerald green fur. "Ready to help the farm?" he asked. Nor tilted her head, understanding the task ahead. Rahim gestured toward the farmland. "Use, force of nature." Nor trotted to the edge of the field, her emerald tail glowing faintly. As she swayed it gently, a soft drizzle began to fall over the land. The air grew sweet and fresh, and the moisture soaked into the soil. Under the influence of Noor's skill, the sweet potato vines seemed to come alive. Wilted leaves perked up, new shoots sprouted, and the entire field appeared vibrant and healthy. Even the piglets grew calm, lying down as if lulled by the soothing rain. The peace of progress. Rahim stood in silence, taking in the tranquil scene. The fertile farmland, the quiet piglets, and the serene drizzle felt like a slice of paradise amidst the challenges of this new world. He whispered a quiet Alhamdulillah, grateful for the strength and resources that had brought him this far. For the first time since his arrival, Rahim felt a sense of peace, knowing he was building something enduring. "This is just the beginning," he said to Noor, who wagged her tails in agreement. "Together, we'll create a life worth living."